How's it going, YouTube? So I'll make a quick little video talking about the distro that I think is the best distro out there right now. So this distro that I'm going to talk about is called Oberon Linux. It's basically Arch Linux with an S6 init system. It's the only distro that I know that has S6. Apparently, it's superior to run it. I don't really know because I'm not super into init systems. I don't really give that many fucks about it. But I do give enough fucks because I have used Arch in the past and I fucking hate systemd so goddamn much. Like, oh my god, like every time I reboot my computer, it complains about some old root. There's all these start services running for fucking bullshit that goes on forever. And then like, if I have, the only solution is, oh man, it's so terrible. It's so terrible. These start services are fucking ridiculous. And I also just don't like the way it's designed, how ginormous it fucking is. So I really just wanted to get away from it because my computer was becoming fucking unusable with all these boot up errors. I was running Arch, and this fucking thing, dude, I would turn it on, and it would just like sit there with like a little cursor or blinking or stuff, and it would do this like every time on a fucking cold boot. It would not boot up, and then I would have to hard reset it, hit the power button, and I would turn it back on again. And like the second time, this fucking thing always booted up perfectly, and it was like a routine. I'd have to like turn on my computer 2 goddamn times just to fucking use it. And I'm tired of that shit, dude. I'm over that shit. So what did I do? I tried Artix Linux. It's another Arch derivative with OpenRC, I think is what they use. And Artix, yeah, it's really unstable. When I was using it, like their repos were always fucking down, and I just like, fuck me. So I just wanted to get away from Arch. So I went to Void. And yeah, we got where are we at here? We got Void Linux. It uses Runit. It uses this XPS system. I was like, this is great. I actually have it still installed on my computer. I have the Musel version of it, and I'm like, this is great. It's even got Musel. It's like the lightweight glibc. So I'm like, fuck yeah, bruh. This thing is awesome. And I'm using it, and I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, I was trying to get it set up. Like, oh man, this thing is a fucking pain in the ass, dude. I like Void. It's fucking. Oh, the big reason why it's terrible is because, well, first of all, Musel. I do not recommend Musel. First of all, it's actually slower on computers, especially since I have 16 gigs of RAM. It's actually slower, and so Musel is just kind of like a big meme. Honestly, it's a big meme, and I found everything was slower to use. Also, I can't use a lot of software like JDK. I couldn't use. Eventually, with some help in the forums, like some dudes fixed latex, so I eventually did get latex working. But for a while, latex wasn't fucking working. But yeah, JDK is a big issue. Also, Steam. I don't play that many video games, but like, just not being able to install software is a big pain in the ass. Also, I had this issue with Firefox for like 2 or 3 months when I was using it. Every time I tried to log into a website, if there was a login form, it would crash. And here's the issue though, is that with this distro, like, there's no support. And I don't know what the fuck the issue was, and I reported it, but like, there's no manpower really. And I don't know. I don't know what the issue was, if it was with Musel or Void, but I was just having a bunch of issues with software not working with Musel. I think it was Musel. Yeah, but the biggest issue I have with Void is the amount of packages. It has like, there's so many. You're gonna run into edge cases when you're using your computer, or there's things that you need to use that other people are using. For example, let's say you need Skype for some fucking reason, even though you want to be the freedom-loving person you are, and you need to get Skype. Well, it's just such a big pain in the ass on Void. Like, for example, I use this one thing called noise repellent. It's in the AUR on Arch. and it's available in AUR. I just install it, it works. It's not available in Void. Now this particular application I did easily install, wasn't a big issue. However, there's this other application called X42 plugins, which I use for autotune, and I cannot fucking get this goddamn thing to install. Like, it's just, I'm not well versed in creating packages or compiling shit. Like, that's not who I am. I'm a user, and I don't want to be fucking around with packages. That's the whole point of a distro, I feel, in my opinion, is that the distro just gets me the packages and does it for me. That's all I want the distro to do. But with Void, like, it's missing so many packages, and it's like I might as well, why am I using Void if I have to do everything by source? Like, that's not what I want to do. Now, I do understand there is this thing called XPS source, where it makes it easier to manage source-based packages. But at the end of the day, if you're creating a source-based package, you might as well just add it to a repo so everyone can use it. That's the issue I have with this Void system, is where everyone's creating their own source-based packages, but no one's ever sharing them. And it's like, just fucking make a repo, forget compiling by source, and just add a goddamn repo like an AUR. But then they say, okay, well, we can't add the AUR because it's not pure enough. Well, bitch, look at yourself, bro. Void, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're making people install packages by hand. You think that's going to be a better solution than having an AUR where you're basically compiling packages by hand, but the way to do that is kind of vetted. Like, I know people complain about the AUR, how there's one package maintainer, but like, at least make it so that everyone can see it and kind of see what everyone else is doing, because the way that this currently is set up, where people have individual XPS source packages, it hurts the community. Like, like for example, I don't know how to fucking install this Brother printer. Like, I cannot get my fucking Brother printer to work. I don't understand how to use it. Apparently there's some Brother packages, maybe I can copy the templates, but it's just like, bro, I got a limited amount of time in my life. I'm fucking dying here, and I don't want to spend my entire day finding out how to install my fucking printer, because it's just such a pain in the ass, and that's why I really do not like Void. So the question is now, what do I use? Well, the key here is Oberon, because it's basically Arch, but it runs S6 in it, which, from what I know, from my intuition, from what I've seen, it's basically the holy grail of init systems. You know, Renet's pretty cool, but S6 is up there as well. Now, there is some issues I'm having. For example, one of the, maybe I can show you right now. I don't know if I can install this, because it's, if I mask this, this might break it though. Fuck it, let's do this right now. I think this might error out, but there's an issue. Yep. Yeah, see, there's this one package called Emacs. They updated to 26, and currently it does not work. I don't know if this one will work, but currently it doesn't work because it, alright, I had to downgrade it. But yeah, we have Emacs. They updated it to 26, and now it requires systemd in the AUR, which are in the repos. So Emacs doesn't work. So now I have to, and the issue is, you know, I talked about this in the forum for Oberon, and he basically said, yeah, it needs to be changed, like the dude who runs it, but he didn't say, like, I'm gonna do it, because I don't know how to fucking do that shit. So for now, I'm just gonna have to run an old version of Emacs, and I hope someone else is gonna fix that issue. But there is issues where packages, you need special packages for the S6 in this system. So you can see here, like QS, yeah. So these are the S6 packages. So you can see some of these have these things called S6 RC serve, and I think the way you do this is you say start. What do you say? Enable. status. Yeah, you have to use S6 ops, and you can see the things, and you can say like start dbus. Wait, add service. I'm not entirely sure how this works, but I do know that I can just say up. Well, maybe I can say enable. Yeah, but yeah, I use enable to start the service, and then it would reset, like reset the service. But you just do S6 ops enable dbus. But first you have to install. Wait, what the fuck? You have to install like dbus -s6 serve, because if you just use trizen and search for dbus, and you install like, let me just see what I have. Oh yeah, dbus. These are all for systemd, like the way they start up. So you have to, yeah, you have to install dbus, and you also have to install the S6 thing for it. Now I don't know what the difference is between these two, but I have this one and it works out fine. But basically, there are some packages that you need to install, like S6 specific things to have them running. But most packages do work. They don't have issues with systemd. Those that do, like these packages, they have special things. And you know, everything here works great. Like you have Steam running. Like every single thing works fine. It's basically the same as Arch, except now you run S6 init, and it's just really great. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. If you're looking for like an Arch alternative, I highly suggest you check out Oberon. If you're into like distros without systemd, I highly suggest that you check out Oberon. You get all the packages you need, and you don't have to mess with it. You pretty much just use it. There was one issue I can show you where I did have issues. So there was this issue recently. Where was this issue at? There's a forum. The dude's really cool. He answers questions a lot. He had an announcement recently. Where was this? Well, I can't find it now. What the fuck? Back up. Bug reports. Wow, I don't know where the fuck that was at. Fuck. Update warnings. Yeah. So there was an issue with Pac-Man, where I updated my system and then everything broke. And I couldn't use Pac-Man or Trizen. Or I couldn't use Trizen to access the AUR. And so I had to install PackHour and then like downgrade shit, and it was just a big fucking mess. And so eventually he fixed it, but there's gonna be little things like this where Arch does one thing, but they don't necessarily know that this is gonna fuck up Oberon. So there might be a couple instances like this where Oberon does break due to Arch's actions upstream. But I think it's very rare that anything breaks. I haven't really had too many issues. I really think this is a great, stable system. And yeah, man, I'm a huge fan of Oberon because I get all the packages I need without systemd, and it's just straight Arch. It's amazing. So if you're looking for a non-systemd distro, I would highly suggest you check out this over Void. I guess maybe check out Void if you don't have large package needs or don't need a lot of flexibility, or if you're very good at compiling packages by source, then go ahead, use Void. They're currently in a transition of leadership and stuff like that, so you know, but they're getting through it. And then Yeah, there's also Artix. There's also, you know, Artix. You can use Gentoo, other stuff, but I highly suggest Oberon. Like, it's just pure Arch, no fuckery. You get all the packages you need. So yeah, that's it. Have fun, everybody. Peace.